YouTube, model railroading fans. Welcome to the Boeville and Newtown's vlog number 6 for 2019, and it just so happens that it is Saturday, June 15th, 2019. Found my hat. Long day. working around the house, so that way I have tomorrow to sit back and relax, because tomorrow is Father's Day, and before I forget it, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hope you have a good one. Couple of things. Actually went through the other day and found out that the one computer that I've got down here that it'll be possibly really tied into the railroad actually still had a old version of Visio, which, as you all know, is what I had been using to do my track planning. It may not be the best thing to do or the easiest thing to do, but hey, it works for me, and it gives me an easy, quick, easy way. Sorry, I keep not used to having the camera, you know. Lost my train of thought. It just went. Calling the record. Anyway. I found out that the old computer that I'll probably be using to tie into the railroad actually had Visio still on it, and it still functioned. And of course now I can't seem to find the, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I probably should have done this beforehand, and I didn't do it. And I know I saved this off, but I have no idea. Oh, there it is. Aha! I see, says the blind man as he picked up his hammer and saw. This one's going to be a little bit tough to really get on here because of the fact that I need to go between. Hold on a second here. Sorry. I'm just gonna have to wing it. I'm used to doing that. Anyway, so I found the program, and I actually came down here earlier this week, and believe it or not, but within an hour I had a track plan. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the fact that I was in the process of doing, building that one, or in the process, I planned out the new one for the old house and knew what I wanted already. Maybe that was what made it easier to do. I don't know. But regardless, I have a track plan, and I'll show you that in a bit. I've also gone ahead and set up a workbench down here. It's a mess, but it's a workbench. And I've actually started working on the what I'm going to call the crash cart, which will have tools and stuff on it for wheeling out here to work out here when I can't take whatever it is I need to work on off the layout and take it back to the bench. So I have a rolling workbench that I can do work out here once we get to that point. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer. This new plan, which really is just a, I guess for lack of a better term, is more or less an expansion on what was the Big E. And if you remember last year, late last year, when I came out with the Big E, that was the plan for over at Ocroft. And now that I'm over here, I've got a little bit more space to work with. I figured it out. Really, in reality, it's 36 feet from over my right shoulder down to the wall that you can't see, and then basically from the back wall, the wall that's behind me, to where the bar sits is 14 feet. Well, when you figure that out, 14 feet minus 6 gives you 8. Why did you take 6 feet? I think I explained it in the last video. I wanted to leave a 3-foot walkway between the railroad and any obstacle, which did present a little bit of a problem. And when I show the track plan, you'll kind of see it. You know, when you get to the bottom of the steps in the one closet that's here, it does create a little bit of an issue, but you know, it's workable. So, but like I said, I'll show you that here in a bit, and I'll also show you the workbench and a couple of the other things that have been going on down here. So, for the moment, let's go ahead and take a look at the railroad. Let me see if I can actually stop this, and I may not have to stop it. Let me see if I can just flip it. Are you going to flip? Oh, come on. Okay, it doesn't want to flip. I know there's a way. Anyway, well, it doesn't want to flip, so. Okay, let me stop here for a second and we'll flip the camera and we'll go from there. Alright, I wasn't going to try and do this at 100%, but I think it'll work out better. So what we're looking at here, and I apologize if this camera is bouncing, I had to actually pull it away from the computer screen. But this is going to be Boeville. Now, I've got page 2 over here. Let me, of course, now you're seeing. Okay. Alright, this is Boeville. This will be Boeville Yard over here. And I don't know if you're going to be able to really see the... Let me go ahead and try this. I don't know if I can... I don't know how the heck I'm going to do this. This will be Boeville Yard. Not quite sure how it's going to play in here yet. I haven't drawn it in, but I'll figure it out. Like I said, this is literally just to get the ideas. I want to see if everything is going to work. There is a 15-inch radius loop up here. That will be the streetcar, and as you all know from the old Boeville, that'll be where Boeville and all will be, and it'll be up here. This dark line here is actually a backdrop, so it'll be split into two. Emma, really? Our one dog. The radiuses on the main lines down here will be 22 inches. Now, this here is just showing the upper level. If I go back over here to page 1, you'll see that there are actually 4 tracks that will be hidden underneath of Boeville, same as it was before I took it all apart. That'll be for the passenger trains. Your through freights will actually be on this outer edge, and of course they all meet up here and they all meet down here. So let's go ahead and head southbound from Boeville, which would be going this direction. So we're going to leave Boeville Yard, we're going to circle underneath of Boeville, and we're going to come out here across the top. And as soon as I figure out what I did with the cursor, there it is. We're going to swing over on the back side here. There's this dark line again. This dark line up here represents a backdrop, so you're not going to be able to... This is the one side, this is the other side. So this side here is headed towards... This is headed towards Richmond. This is headed southbound. This would be northbound. I'll get to that in a minute. There's a 3-foot walkway from the edge of the layout here to the wall. And as you can see, one of the things that I had to do is, this is my staircase coming into the basement. There's a mini closet right here, and then there's a fireplace that sits over here. So I had to bend things a little bit to get around everything. Again, here's that 3 foot between the mini closet and the railroad so that there is enough room for people to walk around. Alright, so we're going to continue northbound. I'm sorry, southbound. And, oh, wait a minute. Hey, look, there's Harrisburg Yard. Well, what's going to happen is on the southbound side here, since we are headed southbound, we would just pull straight into Richmond, which is here. This will be the Richmond Yard. All the tracks aren't listed yet, but this is Richmond. If you notice, there's a crossing here, or crossover track right here. This would be the main line coming in. So this is the only way in, and this one here will be the only way out. So we've made it to Richmond. Alright, so let's go ahead and leave Richmond and head to Harrisburg. So we're going to leave Richmond and we're going to proceed back in the direction past the steps on the opposite side that you won't be able to see. Oh, here we are, back to Boeville. Whoa, too far. There's my 3 foot again from the edge of the layout to the wall. I don't know if you saw that. From the edge of the layout to the wall. So we're going ahead, we go underneath the Boeville, downtown Boeville. That's here. We're going to loop out and we're going to go ahead and proceed on northbound. Alright, so we're going to proceed northbound past Boeville Yard, which is over here. And we're going to swing across up here. Now, I'm planning on doing a couple different industries probably in this area. I'm not sure what I'm going to do quite yet. I also want to put some industries in this area too. And more than likely, since we're still headed northbound, the farm is going to end up over in this area. So we're headed northbound and we're going to go through the backdrop at this point. And we're going to pass what's Richmond Yard, but we're actually going to end up in the Harrisburg Yard. And remember, as I was saying, there's that crossing track, and that's your only way in. So when you go to leave, you're actually going to be leaving on the other track. Now, how do you do that? Well, the way that that's going to work is there's going to be, those 2 yards are going to be occupied by the 5-finger mic and the 5-finger switchers. Those will be really prominent in those 2 yards, more than likely. I don't know if I'm actually going to have enough room to build full yards. We'll see how that plays out. So let me go ahead and flip the camera here for a minute. I decided, since I didn't have the camera on my ugly mug, I'd just go ahead and come over here to the stationary workbench. Unfortunately, I don't have any power over here yet. As you can see, I've got my magnifying lamp. I started putting some of the tools up on the pegboard as I had over at the other house. Still some work to do here. And then there's the crash cart. So the workbench on wheels, so that way I have a way of working on stuff that I can't take off the layout. And I'm going to be putting up pegboard behind on the back side of that again, as I had over at my other house. And as you can see, I've got a couple of drill presses sitting here. One's for a Dremel, the other one's a normal drill. And of course, I've got a couple of vices over here. One of these will end up on the mobile bench, the other one will stay here. But that's it. So let's go ahead and walk out of the work area here. And as you can see, we started doing some other things down here. We've got some pictures we've got to hang, and we turned this area here into a workout area. Sorry for the quick movement there. I was shutting the door. Alright, so what you're doing now is you are looking from the turn at Newtown going into Harrisburg and Richmond. You're looking from that area, and you get about 3 feet, or actually it's 2 feet, in that little gap there for this rug that's closest. It's 2 foot from that edge is where this stops. and it goes all the way down to where you see Boeville. So we're going to go ahead and take ourselves a walk, and as you can see, I was talking about the fireplace and the hearth, and then there's this wonderful little mini closet I keep saying that there's going to be an Oompa Loompa come out of. You know, so far that hasn't happened. There's the stairs that go upstairs, the only stairs in the house. So now we're over into where Boeville is going to sit, and there's the aforementioned bar, and there is what's left of Boeville. And I know I mentioned, and you can kind of see it, I'm sure if the camera picks it up, you can see where the bracing took out some of the track work, which isn't a big deal because all this is going to get taken up because I actually have to cut 2 feet off of this to get it to work. Let's go back over to the desk. So, hopefully, I can actually get this thing transferred over to paper, which is what I was in the process of doing for the Big E. So that way I can actually start marketing some industrial spurs and things of that nature. But I feel 98% confident that what I've got drawn up here, I shouldn't have to modify too much to get it to fit. Obviously, you know, unlike, and I think that's the other thing here too, unlike Oakcroft, my old house, where it was basically a box, you had a box that you had to stay within. This here, there's a little bit more flexibility. It's still a box, but there's a little bit more flexibility, if you know what I mean. And I'm sure that somebody's going to ask, why didn't you take and, you know, come down in front of the fireplace and back up? I really didn't show that. There is a kitchen table sitting behind me, right here, that we're going to use for game night. This will be our, basically it'll become our game room slash railroad room slash workout room slash entertainment area. One of the neat things is, and it was something that I brought up to one of the guys I work with, I was telling him about what I was thinking about doing. He's like, man, that's going to be pretty cool. You'll be able to sit there at the bar and watch the trains roll by. And I'm like, you know, you're right. So I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to post this. And I'm not sure how. Like, I know I can post it to Facebook after I take a picture, after I make it a JPEG. I know I can post it to Facebook and put it up there. The only real issue is this computer here does not have an internet connection because it's too old. I mean, it's got the connection possibilities, but it's so old, and I've let the, you know, antivirus and everything else relax and everything else. No, I'm not going to go through all that rigmarole just for one thing. I'll figure out a way to get it off the computer and onto the other computer, and I know someplace down here I've got a Fire Stick. So somewhere down here I have a Fire Stick, so that'll work. But at any rate, that's where I'm at. So again, happy Father's Day to the dads out there. Oh, you know what? There is one thing I wanted to bring up real quick. Get well soon, Vinny. I saw that you were in the, you've been under the weather and in the hospital, bud. Get better, bud. Praying for you, man. And with that, you all know the deal. Wait for the highball. Green tracks ahead. Be safe. God bless. Happy Father's Day to the dads. You all have a good one. See ya.